Hello again and welcome back. Today we have just another simple vlog where I'm going to be addressing a topic that is relatively new to me, recent, though discussion in general of it has been going on for, I'd say, about a year seriously right now. And what that is kind of the state of anime fandom, AnyTube and AnyTube discourse and discussion, and being a creator in AnyTube, and how my experience is that has been affected very recently, because what I'm going to be talking about are things that only apply to very recent times. So, recently, within the past couple of weeks, a couple different friends of mine who were involved in the AnyTube sphere on small levels. These are a handful of YouTubers with small followings, the most only having a few thousand subscribers, which I guess is significant when you compare it to the state of my channel right now. However, these people have just expressed a distaste in not necessarily anime, some do, but rather as well otaku culture and AnyTube and anime discourse and anime discussion and just fandom in general. And I talk to these people relatively regularly, and I am someone that, although they are friends of mine and going through kind of this transition out of AnyTube communities and otaku culture for whatever reason, I am still stuck in that. But recently, I've been just thinking about it and noticing that, alongside of the fact that my time is limited due to doing this project and new work endeavors and just trying to sort out life things, I have less time. But even with my free time, I'm dedicating less and less of it to anime consumption, to looking at anime videos and watching videos in the AnyTube sphere, and just experiencing kind of anime discourse in general. A lot less of my time has gone towards that kind of otaku culture aspect of it. That could just be due to personal time restraints, but I think it might also genuinely be to the fact that because I have friends who I commonly would talk to about things related to anime are now not as involved with that, I myself am less involved. And before I kind of dig deeper into that idea, I'm going to jump back a little bit and talk about kind of the state of AnyTube as a whole, because that's kind of where I'm generally focused. It's where I have the most experience with kind of the culture and the history of it. And we all have seen that over the past year or so, there has been a major influx of new creators, take myself, in the AnyTube community, trying to kind of make their mark, because you have these success stories like your Jeff Thews and your Digibros and your Eye Patch Wolves, these kind of big dogs of anime analysis who have only been doing it for a handful of years, but are making waves and are making careers and being very successful out of AnyTube. And the difference, and I think I attribute a lot of this to Digibro, is that he presents it as a very working from the ground up. He just started doing it and it took off and it worked, and he, just a normal guy who just happened to be a big anime fan, was writing videos about anime and he made a career out of it. And I think a lot of people take that and romanticize it a little bit. I certainly do. And Digibro has commented on that. Because of this, there is this influx of people who are trying to expect the same thing, but now the market is becoming so oversaturated that the quality of content, percentage-wise, has gone down, and the type of content that is being made is, I guess I would call it incestuous or homogenous, in that all the videos are about the same handful of shows. They're all usually about either a show that's just really popular and like within the last 5 years, I'd say, or a show that's airing right now that's, let's say, in the top 10 or so most popular of every season. All that's free game. You make a video about that. You really don't need to explore any ideas as long as it kind of looks good and you sound smart. People latch on to that. And that kind of makes the experience of enjoying AniTube really difficult. And that's kind of a problem that I've had with AniTube in the past few months. But now I see that kind of coming over into just discussion of anime in general for me. In that the people who I typically talk to about anime, at least in the most recent, I'd say 5 or 6 months, are now starting to get out of that, and I kind of feel less involved in the community. I still love anime, I still love otaku culture, and I definitely don't want to abandon that part of my life, but my dedication to it has significantly dwindled just because of the people around me not caring about it anymore. And I think this is really just a social trait, and I don't know psychology or social psychology that well, and I think it makes sense that there's less people for me to talk to about it, and so I have less investment in that thing, because if I'm consuming anime, let's say I'm just watching like a show a day, which I was doing for most of the month of March. I watched a lot of anime in the month of March, and I actually had a goal to like watch a certain amount just because I wanted to like grind out a bunch of shows that I hadn't seen yet that I wanted to. But I'm kind of going on a tangent here. I don't need to consume that much anime to be able to talk about it as much as I would need to with my friends who are kind of getting out of it. And that is the social trait. I think it would apply just as much as that if that all of my friends were into, let's say, into sports, right? Into football. And when is a more exciting time for football than during the season? And when the season ends, you don't hear as much about football. Sure, there's still news and there's still stuff going on, but it's not your time. You're not going to be sitting down and watching football games when nobody's talking about football. And sure, if you have an interest in it, you can kind of go back and analyze stuff, and you're still part of the community. But I think just like anime, when the people aren't there to talk about it with you, you have less investment. And I guess what the interesting part is for me is that I don't have the social power of a larger YouTuber to create those conversations for myself. Sure, I can go into my Discord server or message somebody and have a conversation about anything that I'm watching, probably, but those conversations become less and less and less strong, particularly when it comes to my closer friends who I talk to a lot more regularly than the people who watch my videos and hang out in my Discord server. That is what I'm getting at on a more serious level, is that the community aspect is not there as much for me. And although I still love anime, my focus towards it has shifted. I'm starting to focus more on just different avenues of entertainment for me. Things that I've already been a fan of and committed time to, but now I'm committing more time to those things. A big one is playing competitive card games or trading card games. It's something that I've done for several years now, and in the past, I'd say 6+ months, I've been doing less and less, and I'm starting to get back into the swing of playing and testing and getting ready to go to a Grand Prix tournament and play on a competitive level again, and hopefully win myself a big tournament or a chance to go to Worlds, which I've never done before. I've been dedicating more and more time of my own to doing that. I also, just tonight, because I am now in Fizz Anime's server where reality television and Survivor discussion is a big deal, and I am now, just tonight, I decided to start watching Survivor, which I hadn't watched since middle school. And I was a huge fan in middle school, where I watched like 20 seasons or something like that. But I kind of just went back and watched season 1 again, and I'm really enjoying it, and I actually want to stick with it. But now there's that level of, I guess, guilt or something that comes with that, where I still want to be able to watch all the anime that I can. I still want to be able to check out everything, maybe not complete everything, but go back. There's still plenty of classic shows and important shows and shows by important people that I would love to have seen and still haven't, on top of just being up to date with the state of modern anime and seasonal shows, which is just nearly impossible for me nowadays as somebody that's still trying to go back and watch some older stuff, some classics. And on top of that, I still want to watch all these great movies and other TV shows and listen to all this music and play these video games and do this, and this. And that, when I think about it all, just drives me insane, because although I know I have the rest of my life to spend on all this, I know that I'm never going to be able to get to all of it, and that gives me pretty bad, I wouldn't say anxiety, or it's not depressing, it's frustrating, it's annoying to know that I won't always be able to consume everything. And I'm also just in a point in my life where I don't think it's ever going to be enough. I don't think I'm ever going to be satisfied with the amount of media that I consumed, because there's always going to be that obscure show or movie or album that I'm discovering the deeper and deeper and more involved I get in those communities. And I think the thing is that because I'm in such an anime centric community of discussion and where I choose to spend my time in a lot of Discord servers, it's where I do a lot of my socializing. I think a lot of it is just focused towards anime so heavily. And though I still love it, I definitely don't want it to come across that I don't want anything to do with anime anymore. I still love it, and I still want to dedicate a lot of time to it. I just feel less inclined because less people around me, at least right now, are involved with that. And that's all I'm really getting at. I feel like this video is kind of rambly, and it's kind of a loosely put together thought, but it's been something I've been thinking about. I think it's interesting for the discussion, interesting in talking about fandom and the way I consume media. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on the subject. As always, if you want to further the conversation, have your own opinions on the subject, or have questions for me, feel free to put them down in the comments, hop into my Discord server. You can always reach me there basically anytime I'm awake. And yeah, that's it. I'm done for the day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.